Okay. So, I think I have to give some backstory to who I am for this story. I was raised pretty much Amish. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, very Mennonite kind of community, very kind of Mennonite family upbringing. When I was 19 years old, I was a missionary in the Philippines helping to build a church. That's a whole lifetime ago. Okay, so that's me. Move ahead. I'm 23 years old, I'm in New York City, and I'm a failing photographer. Right? I'm just not doing well. I'm a good photographer, but I just have no idea how to do the business of it. So I get this great summer job on a boat. I'm like, this is going to be great, I'm going to learn how to be a captain, I'm going to eventually get my captain's license, it's going to be fun. Yeah. It's so funny when you get to the job, you're 23 years old, and all of the people that are in charge of you are 40-year-old alcoholics that act like children. It's pretty much boating in New York City, if you've ever been on a boat in New York City for these things. So, I got pretty good at it. I was a first mate, eventually did become a captain down the road. But there's one night that would burned into my memory forever. This wasn't even the boat I worked on. I worked on this American classic schooner. It was like kind of a very classy little yacht that we'd take out for booze cruises and engagement sails and things like that. But there was this other boat, the Ventura, that's docked down North Cove, right there at the World Trade Center site. You can kind of see the Statue of Liberty out there. And the Ventura just kind of had like the B crowd. And this really kind of skeezy Captain Rick, which we were always like kind of interested with. He told funny stories and was just like the worst guy ever. So that night, Rick asked my friend Chris Van Ness and I if we could take over one of his sails, because like he couldn't do it. We'd done it before, you know, it's no big deal. You take people out, you get them a little drunk, you come back and get some tips. It's a good night. You're home by 11. I was not home by 11 on this night. So, we go out. It seems like a weird crowd. So we go out to this boat, and he's like, the only instruction we had was that people will be there at 7. It's this party for this bar right downtown that they have like every month. They do this sale for them. It's great. The people are great, and you'll get tipped like crazy. So we're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we get out to this boat. People start showing up, and they're just all a little off, and they all have bags with them. And they're just like, what? Okay, fine. And they only had one stipulation: is that we went out past the Arizona Bridge. You don't do. You never do. It's too far away. So I knew then that Wyatt was a 5-hour charter, right? So we were to get out past the bridge again. And we got out past the bridge with these people that were acting kind of strange and just kind of like flirting with each other a lot. And somebody yells, "It's time." And I'm like, oh shit, it is time. Right? And Chris was like, oh shit, this is that sale. And I'm like, what sale? He's like, this is that freaky sale that this guy does for his like sex club downtown. He just tells me about it. He just stuck us on here like as a joke. So it was time. People, I mean, like raised Amish, right? Everyone just took off their clothes, and it turned into this giant, excuse my language, fuck fest. It was just gratuitous and bad in about every way you could be. But it was like the culture of it was the weird part, I think. Just being around people that would like let themselves do this thing. Not that I didn't judge it, but I guess the one thing I'd say that tainted the moment, the whole sale for everybody, was like the few people on the boat that like even though they're part of this culture and this crowd, they would walk up to people and like still get rejected. You know? And I felt bad for them, but they're just like really weirdos anyways. And so like I'm conflicted. I'm like, this is really interesting. I'm never gonna have an erection again. Yeah. So some of the things that happened that night, you can use your imagination, but it was just down below, things were going on. And I remember like when somebody was about to climax, everyone would gather around. Or singing a whole whoop. And when that would happen, and the guy would go, or the girl would go, everyone would start cheering, yelling, and running around. And I remember it just turned into this like celebration of meat. I don't know the way to explain it. I never even thought about it that way until right now. The person came up after one of these climaxes and was like, "Would the captain like anything?" I was like, "It's you, Chris. I can drive all night long." I guess I'm done. But we get back to the dock. They do tip like crazy. They're supposed to hell. And I just remember going back to my apartment and crawling in bed with my girlfriend that night and being like, I don't want to have sex with you. Maybe ever again.